EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the birthplace of rock and roll, Cleveland, Ohio, where the ceremonial guitar has been smashed, and that means we are set for football at Huntington Bank Field. Today, we've got a good one on tap in the AFC North, as it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. Get strapped in. It's just about time to get the party started. And off we go from Cleveland. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. Under center is a 6'2", 225-pound signal caller, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember watching him in college and seeing a guy that you knew had great potential, but I don't know that anyone knew that we would see how he would blossom as an NFL player who will go down as one of the all-time great quarterbacks. Can make every throw from every angle with terrific mobility, and he knows how to win games, always in contention for a championship.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. Nifty move. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage. Opening quarter, his opening carry of the game, and I think they'll give it to him a few more times, as they should.
You're exactly right about that. With that type of a run, you want to repeat it many times until they show signs of stopping it. I think he did his visualization exercising before this one, and they're paying off.
And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 15 more yards there, and quickly another first down. Absolutely no trouble moving the ball on the ground on the first two plays from scrimmage.
Absolutely. You know what I really like? Same guy carrying the ball in both plays, and what drives me crazy is when a back has a nice run, he taps his helmet to go out of the game. I would want the ball again and again and again because you've established really nice momentum, and now you're seeing the field really well.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Still first down.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. To throw, it's Rodgers. Got an open man, it's Valdez-Scantling. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be second down. So a decent gain there, but not their 4th consecutive first down like they had on the first 3 plays.
You sound almost disappointed there. You want to fire the offensive coordinator on that one or what?
They got into a rhythm. I thought they...
But if that's your win, you're not doing very well right now.
He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Running a jet sweep. This is Austin. And this is not going to work as planned. He's going to be met and dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
As a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. To throw is Rodgers.
Been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
Play number 8 here on the opening drive. This is 3rd and goal. Here's Rodgers. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead.
On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And he returns this to the 22. So here are the Browns under head coach Kevin Stefanski. They'll be led out by the former Colorado Buffalo, their rookie quarterback.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
Well, here's a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll look to throw it off play action. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
Now the former volunteer, it's Dylan Sampson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as...
But how about here? This is a cornerback essentially setting the edge and finishing off that play for a loss.
Now Sanders. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the 1st down there, help them relax a little bit.
If you're these receivers, you got to be ready, because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes it's just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1.
43-yard line.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but 3rd and short, definitely was a great time to dial one up.
A couple of 1st downs, has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield? to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
Yeah, he is going to go down here, but we also have a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. They may have jumped the gun. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. Now a handoff up the middle. Sampson. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup. There was a little space there, yes, but that was a well-executed run by the rookie.
It was, and he wasn't one of the higher-rated rookie running backs coming out. He's probably on the next tier. But let me tell you something. If he becomes more consistent and continues to have that drive.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
Well, their first sack of the game, and it doesn't come from a usual suspect, not somebody up front, but Charles, a defensive back getting in there.
And I can tell you from experience, he's beyond excited to make that play because you're exactly right. It isn't normal to call his number to run at the quarterback like that. Usually you're defending the pass, but he takes full advantage and dumps him to the turf.
Open man, that's Tillman. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
From the gun, it's Shador.
Trying to lay one up deep. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Yeah, that's on the guard, Wyatt Teller.
Here's Sanders. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield.
Pressure comes and down he goes. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go.
There is a hush indeed.
On 4th down, Corey Bojorquez gets set to punt for Cleveland. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin.
So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Now Rodgers.
They'll get this complete to Calvin Austin.
And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
On 1st and 10, it's Gainwell. He had to fight that time. Ran through one tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Back to Gainwell here on 2nd down. And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 42. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, that's why the guy with the headsets is down there. All right, they know what they're doing because they got stuffed on a running play on 1st down. And I think myself and probably the fans were saying throw the football in this situation. But he knew what he was doing, called another run, and now they got 3rd and short.
And he will have a Steelers first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
That's another Steelers first down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. On the give, it's Warren. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10.
False start.
That flag, that'll push him back 5. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now it's Rodgers. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it's 2nd down.
And good yardage there on 1st down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Rodgers going to throw. And a completion to Wilson. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues, and the chains move again.
A 7-yard gain. That's another Steelers first down. A gain of 7. First down, Steelers.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. They toss it to Warren. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that was not what you would call straight line pursuit for a middle linebacker to make this play. He's got to work his way through the clutter to get to the ball carrier on the outside, and he does exactly that. That's called avoiding the trash.
Now Rodgers. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Calvin Austin, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Steelers are able to extend their lead. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that drive, 12 plays in length.
And in the end, a Calvin Austin touchdown grab finished the drive off.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
From the gun, it's Sanders. That's taken in by Bond.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
That is caught. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. The first catch for Judy, good for a first down.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Off the play fake. Here's Sanders. To the sideline and incomplete.
A great job defensively taking away his receivers, and he was forced to put that one into Lake Erie, but that's what good quarterbacks do. They don't take unnecessary chances if they don't have to.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. Sampson trying to run inside, but nothing there. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
To throw now, here's Sanders. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And that'll kick and go out of bounds just outside the 15 at the 16-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And down he'll go at the 25. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Now Rodgers on the bootleg. This one finds Austin at right. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a 1st down.
That's good for a Steelers 1st down. It's a gain of 6. 1st down, Pittsburgh.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. From the gun, it's Rodgers. This ball complete. It's an out route to Thielen. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
That's another Steelers 1st down.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. A handoff for Warren. And he stopped immediately there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
2nd and 9. Here's Rodgers to throw. This one to the right, caught by Valdez-Scantling. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another 1st down.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another 1st down.
Throwing is Rodgers. That is caught by Thielen. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Pat Freiermuth from 17 yards out. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and that makes our score 17-0.
Browns, nothing.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Browns now going to take over late in this first half as they take over with exactly 1 minute to go.
To throw is Sanders. That's complete. Right side. It's Bond.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle.
Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Sanders. And this is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, he's almost a leg into the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
They tried to throw on 2nd down. Unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Sanders to throw.
And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback.
The Steelers taking over now late in this first half. And with a 17-0 lead in tow, they might not be too eager to press the issue here.
Throwing now is Rodgers.
And that is going to be incomplete as he let him a bit too much.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Rodgers now to throw. He'll find Thielen working the middle. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That's a gain of 7. Brings up 3rd and 3.
The final shot before half for Rodgers. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
So halftime straight ahead. Let's get you.
There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon.
A very one-sided first half. 17-0 our score as we get going in quarter number 3. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Browns offense set to go to work to begin this 3rd quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground here on first down.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now Sanders. He'll swing this out to Sampson. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4.
And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, make him make someone miss in the open field.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
They go play action now. Sanders.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down.
That's Cameron Hayward who got in there to take him down.
A rookie QB struggling, gets thrown down to the ground there. But, maybe this game, it's not over yet, but maybe this game can be a learning experience for him.
So many different things that he has to pick up on. When to go ahead and flush from the pocket and run. When to get rid of the football and not take the sack. When to just go ahead and go down early and make sure you don't fumble the football. So many things that he has to learn. This game starts the process.
Gets this over the middle to Tillman.
And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 44-yard line. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Now they'll fake the jet sweep here and throw off play action. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Here's Sanders. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up.
While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down.
Throwing, Sanders. Now he's going to step up and run.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
I hadn't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried running through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
2nd and 1. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. It's a quarterback sneak. And he is going to have the Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
It's been a good drive so far. They just wanted to keep it going, so they call low-risk, low-reward play. No one's worried about picking up big yardage here. Quarterback sneak, keep the chains moving, and pick up another first down.
On first down, Sampson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
2nd and 6. And he'll go down. Brought down the 20-yard line. Alex Highsmith making a nice play and getting the sack.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Here's 3rd and 7. Operating from the gun, Sanders. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Browns are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Sampson trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding them out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
2nd and goal from the 1. And they'll run again, but he will lose yardage here. Back to the 4-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
I know they'd love to take some heat off of that young quarterback, but so far, not much in the running game, and this won't help things either. A loss on that play.
Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Sanders to the end zone, but it's incomplete. So now 4th and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
They'll go. Here's Sanders. Touchdown, Browns! From 4 yards out. And the Browns take a chance, but they find pay dirt on 4th and goal. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And it's 17-7. So that about as lengthy a drive as you're ever going to see. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
To throw is Rodgers. He'll check this one down to Gainwell. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
A gain of
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Steelers first down. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Boston, the man in motion left. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 77 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field. And they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. 2nd and 6. Rodgers going to throw. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
Third down and 13. Now Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And that one will skip out of bounds as the linesman will mark this thing right at the 15-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They run the counter. Sampson. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down.
No gain on the play. It's fourth down.
We're off to the fourth quarter here on Christmas Eve. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the fourth. The Browns send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Well, bad snap, and this is a loose football. The Steelers' offense and their running back Jalen Warren headed back onto the field. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout. A very short field to work with now. First and goal after the great punt return. They'll run here with Gainwell. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Now Rodgers. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Rodgers finding Valdez-Scantling. And the Steelers are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. An important score there, CD, and now an important extra point because it would make it a 3-score game.
Love the math there, and at this point in the fourth quarter, look, we all need next-gen stats, right? We all use them, but we don't need them here, do we? Because that means it's almost a certain victory.
Extra point now by Boswell. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Cleveland offense making their way out. But we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
To throw now, here's Sanders.
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game.
And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. The Browns send out their punter now. Standing just outside his own goal line. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
Slant route, and he's got Freiermuth. Look at the big fella go.
And finally down at the 9-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 57 yards.
And the Steelers, 1st down. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one on to the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
They'll run it. Warren.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Not a whole lot there on 1st and goal, and that's what you're looking for defensively. You'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or two in this situation.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line.
Here's Warren.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
88 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Defensively, they must have been expecting a pass. They were in the dime look out there.
I think maybe they were deciding to go with speed on the field rather than bulk. I'm with you, a little bit surprising. They wanted people getting to the ball as fast as possible. The lighter, shiftier defensive backs allow you that opportunity.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7.
Mason Graham drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down.
The downside for the defense is that they're dealing with a team that's in their red zone, but the upside, not much room to work with for the offense. Fewer windows in the zone for them to throw into. Tough for a quarterback to get a throw off before the pressure ends up getting to him.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. This just a 24-yard attempt.
Boswell's kick is good. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that, and this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
This short pass into the hands of Njoku. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it'll be second down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. On play action, here's Shadur. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
Alex Highsmith picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
They'll indeed go for it. It's Sanders.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
Now a run with Warren.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to...
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
Chris Boswell to kick
After
off
the
for
successful
Pittsburgh.
field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30. The Browns set to take over. And last time, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches, what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Now Sanders throwing to start the drive. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Derek Harmon. This will be caught. Judy. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
They'll run on first down. Sampson. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
To throw is Sanders. Now he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for them. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Shador. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. That should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown.
Well, there's just about a minute left in this game, and they're still taking it into the end zone. And you know they could have taken a knee there, but they decided to play this one all the way out. And I think their philosophy is, we're going to give you everything we've got. If we just go ahead and take a knee now, we're actually showing you disrespect that way, like taking pity on you. They're not about to do that to their opponent.
Boswell for the extra point. And the lead is now an even 30. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown.
Chris Boswell.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And the Browns getting set to go.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Sanders. Looking right side, and it's intercepted. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. And with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
The Steelers ready to take over on offense. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the fourth quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On the counter, it's Gainwell. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. On the draw, Gainwell. And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Third down.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Error-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cleveland.